And we're live. What is good, YouTube? This is your boys back again from Unapologetically Men. I'm your host, Max, and I got my co host with me tonight,
Lando's back in the building.
Mr. Lando. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Just had a good day. It was a little rainy today, but we got through the day. Got a little exercise in, but typical work day. Moving on, gentlemen, we've titled this stream tonight, this cast tonight, "The Myth of the Midlife Crisis." And the reason why I brought this, want to bring this topic to the forefront, is because I had a interesting conversation with a family member of mine, and of course it was a woman, and so here we are. We're in I guess the middle ages or whatnot, but so she had this she had this I don't know if she was trying to shame me into it, but I'm a single man, so and I do my thing, you know what I'm saying? So I spend money wherever I want to, and I'm sure you do the same thing, Mr. Lando. I mean, you don't have nobody that you have to, besides your immediate family, you don't have anybody that's you basically paying for the pussy anywhere. Would that
Oh
be an
man.
accurate assessment, sir?
I can tell you this much. The way I live my life these days
Yeah,
is harmony.
yeah,
It,
absolutely,
it is utter harmony.
absolutely,
And it's because I really don't have anyone in my face trying to dictate what I should do and when I should do it.
absolutely, man. That's,
You know?
and there's a value to be placed on that, and it's a great value to have a peace of mind, basically. So, but she
Right.
was, I was being told, the women like to project onto you, and they've had they have this negative connotation to when a man hits a peak in his lifespan where he is proverbially, he's either dating younger women or he's driving these nice sports cars and stuff like that. And, they placed a negative connotation on it and called it the midlife crisis. They called it crisis, crisis being a derogatory kind of word, to basically have you looking at things from a position of, it's just something you shouldn't do. But in my honest opinion and in my perspective is that the midlife quote unquote crisis it's not a crisis at all. Um,
Mm. It's
for
an
what
awakening, really.
Yeah, it's really an awakening. Like the midlife point is where basically, men, we grow, of course we grow in value. So we don't,
Mhm.
we start off slower, but when we hit peak age, they say the peak earning potential for men are between 35 and like 55, right?
Mhm.
So what I'm coming to understand is that once we hit this peak moment in our life where we're increasing our value, earning the most money that we can, we then start to acquire the things that we dreamed about as little boys. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I
we
think
want.
it goes a step further than
Yeah,
that.
go ahead, go speak on it, sir.
I believe, and this is just my opinion, the midlife crisis is basically a period in some men's lives where they realize that they have an identity,
Hmm.
because as men, especially a lot of traditional men out there,
Hmm.
um, they end up realizing that everything that they've done, all the duty and the sacrifice and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that they weren't going to get a return on that. So they kind of woke up out of this trance like, hey, I need to do for myself and I need to enjoy what time I have left
Right. Right.
at all costs.
Right. Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and, and you'll find that everything that women do to shame men is it's all hypocrisy to cut a man off at the pass. You
Hmm.
know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because women do what they want in life. It's like
Oh, yeah.
we spend money on the sports car, the motorcycle, whatever. Those are just examples, right?
Yeah.
They spend money on their hair and nails and everything that revolves around just them. So you can call that their thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And no one shaming them, telling them not to do it
Right.
because they get gratification out of those things,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
We get gratification out of the things that we gravitate to, but generally they don't want us to have those things because they want everything to be centered around them.
Right.
So they use the negative term midlife crisis because they want to shame men into not removing the attention from them.
Absolutely. And we spoke on that particular aspect in in previous casts where they want to be the source of your happiness.
Yep.
So when you start
But the
to,
thing is, they
yeah,
never give you any of that happiness.
no, no, absolutely not. And
Happy
if
wife,
you're a man
happy
on,
life is a myth.
yeah, and if you're a man
Even if
on
a
your
woman
purpose,
happy, they
then
still be miserable.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're a man on your purpose, then you are creating other channels um, that are your bring you happiness besides just finding a woman to
Hmm.
be with. So,
Right.
but so that I mean that's just kind of that's like I was being touched on this, or I was touched on this subject matter, and she kept saying oh yeah, there's you just have there's this midlife crisis that y'all go. I was like, no, there's no such thing. And there's like, and
Yep.
she kept saying, yes, there is. I was like, no, it's not. Yes, there is. No, it's like this back and forth. I was like, no, there is no such thing as a midlife crisis.
You know how to stop a woman in that argument.
Yeah,
You just ask her, all right, give me some examples.
yeah.
And
I
then they
should.
don't have anything to call to.
Right. Well, they're
You
gonna
know what I
say
mean?
you're dating younger women, or you got the nice sports car, or some shit like that. Yeah, that probably be what the
I cut out. I cut out.
retort
Did you
is.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I saw a cycle for a second there. What? Go ahead and repeat what repeat with like the last 2 minutes. What did you just say?
Yeah, I was saying that uh women they man, I forgot what I was gonna say because
No, go for it.
that cutout distracted me.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like when it comes to okay, now I remember
get you.
when a woman says a man is going through a midlife crisis,
Mhm.
and you say there's no such thing, and you ask them to give an example, they don't have nothing to speak to
Mhm.
because they didn't think that far ahead about the nonsense that they were saying. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And they don't have anything to really give an example to of what's negative about this quote unquote midlife crisis. Like if a man goes out and buys a Corvette at the
Mhm.
drop of a hat, right?
Mhm.
He has the wherewithal to do it. So what's the problem?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Right.
his money.
Right.
He worked for it.
Right.
Because if a man don't have enough money to get a Corvette, he ain't getting a Corvette. It's just
No,
that
it is
simple.
that simple. Right. It is that simple. You got those people that live above their means, but I mean
Hmm.
that's not. I mean that's a whole different subject matter at that point. But we're there's some a little bit of technical difficulties going on with YouTube right now. I'm getting a YouTube error. Now it's back to excellent connection. So hopefully we don't have any hiccups going forward. But I digress. Let's continue. Like I was saying though, I was just trying to explain that I was like I told her it's like the midlife crisis is not what y'all claim it to be. I was like, as a
Hmm.
matter of fact, my direct response was, it might be that for you, as in for women, like that might be the case for y'all. I was like, but that's not the case for
Hmm.
us. Like we increase in value as we get older. So
What
the
would be the
the
equivalent
thing,
for women?
yeah, hitting the wall. What I'm
You
saying?
know,
That's
I
their
mean, I wouldn't even say hitting the wall because it's like midlife crisis for
mm,
men is like we go out and do something we always wanted to do.
right,
You
right,
know what I
right,
mean? So I
right.
can't see how that's bad.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly,
Where,
exactly, exactly. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier is that like, as young boys, we saw those cars we were, you know, captured by some older guy driving, it's like we're holding
mhm,
our parents' hand walking across the parking lot from the grocery store and we see this guy drive by in this badass sports car and you're like, you like, ooh, look at that, like you pointing at that.
right.
You know, and then you grow up and you basically become that guy because now you at the point in
Hmm.
your life where you can actually be that. So
Right.
you reach that pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? You reach that pinnacle point. You know, you're making
I think
if you're
women
doing
is jealous because when you
man,
really think about it logically,
yeah,
women are they can't have a midlife crisis. You
mm,
know what I mean?
right, right,
It's
right,
like the a woman's greatest years is in her early 20s,
right,
right?
right.
So it's like, let's say she's in her mid 40s. What random thing that she can get joy from can she do?
Nothing. Well,
You know what I mean?
that's the other thing too. Is like because they have a more immediate
Hmm.
gratification, or you know they don't project into the future. Like
Right.
they so everything is short. Like every goal is either
Everything is in the
so
moment.
yeah, everything is in the moment. So there's no looking forward to this happening for them. Like everything is in the
Right.
moment. So but as us
And
men,
let me play devil's
yeah,
advocate
go
for
ahead, go
this
ahead.
for me. So, all right, let's say, all right, a woman's version of a midlife crisis would be to go on a pleasure cruise, like
Mm-hmm.
some sort of eat, pray, love type of trip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, never saw that movie, but
Nobody logically would say that's a bad thing. That would
right.
just be her doing her thing. But
Yep.
if a man does something that's supposed to like um, edify himself,
Yeah.
I'll say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of a sudden is demonized. Oh, he's having a midlife crisis.
Right. Well,
He
especially if
shouldn't be doing anything to
well,
build himself up so late in life.
yeah, yeah, and you know what I think about that is especially if he does it for himself,
Hmm.
it's not at the it doesn't have that same like women doesn't have that same um duty or obligation to bring a man along. Whereas with a man,
Hmm.
they think that him enjoying the fruits of his labor by himself
Uh-huh.
is selfishness. Like that's what either society or women in
Exactly.
general look at it as is
I'm so glad you
selfishness.
brought that up, man. I
Yeah,
mean, that whole thing about women trying to basically force their inclusiveness,
yeah, yeah.
like I made this post.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was having a discussion with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and they was talking about how they don't do Dutch and they don't believe in having to come out their pocket or do anything. They
Mm-hmm.
believe that they're supposed to be catered to and taken care of and included in everything that the man does, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
But in the same breath, this same particular person wanted me to help her build a business. You know, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. You
Man,
can't split a meal
right,
bill, but you want me to invest thousands of dollars
right,
for a business model that failed you before.
right. They well, you
It's
know,
like,
they always want to build something with you, so and
yeah, it's like
it's typically you building the shit, and then they come in
exactly,
and acquire it. That's basically why that works.
exactly, exactly.
But yeah, you know that's kind of like with with the man enjoying himself like that in that moment. That I believe is kind of like the core of it. You know, is that
Hmm.
from women have created this negative connotation of a midlife crisis because if he's out doing the things for himself, even if he's like, let's say he in a marriage, right? If he's in a marriage and he went out and bought that brand new sports car he always wanted. Well, it was particularly for himself. Like he didn't buy the sports car for his wife, or he didn't buy the sports car
Hmm.
for the both of them to enjoy. He bought it for himself. And when a
Hmm.
man has acquired a asset, for himself, it's always deemed selfishness, and then they put the connotation of being a midlife crisis because it was acquired for the purpose of his own happiness. So any kind of gesture, any kind of action taken upon himself for the betterment or for his own happiness
Hmm.
is all is like we said harkens back to them wanting to be the source of your happiness, and if they're not the source of your happiness, well, that's always negative for them. So That.
If they're not the source of your happiness, then they will settle for being the source of your misery.
Oh damn. Ain't that the truth, bro?
Hmm.
Ain't that the truth, man? They would try to destroy it at that point. you know.
Yeah, I
But.
mean, I've seen it so oftentimes where a man will get with a woman, and
Mhm.
eventually it's like, you don't really need that sports car, or
Mhm.
you don't need that motorcycle, or you don't need that gun collection, or
Mhm.
it's like they try to trim stuff away, and before you know it, you have no more self.
Oh no, not at all.
But if you tell them that they can't do something, then they want to be like, I have my own life.
Right.
It's like they want to sit there and kick and scream and whine
They're
like
individuals then
children,
at that
like,
point.
mine, you can't
Yeah.
take this away from me. But they
They're
will continue to take stuff away from you.
yeah, they're individuals when it comes to that. But when it
Hmm.
comes to you, it's a unit. You're together. You know.
Right?
Together. Yes. But yeah, so that's just I think women project and they try to. I think it's totally it was totally a slogan created to shame men from self gratification basically. You know,
Right.
and that and then there's so much as it's just like I said, it's just straight self gratification, but it's not selfishness. Like you want something for yourself too. Like it's okay. Like we can have
Right.
things for ourselves, just like women have things for themselves all the fucking time. you know,
Right.
we're allowed these things, especially if you're a man that's been, in a long term relationship, or you're a man who's married. You know, you're breaking your back basically to provide for your family.
Hmm.
There is room for you too. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's they like we've always been minimalized when it comes to relationships, but we know that we're the prize. We're the ones who's the most valuable at this point in time.
Yeah.
That makes me
It's
think of
funny. It's
yeah.
brainwashing
Oh, absolutely,
because it's like
absolutely.
women will have this attitude like, oh, you're just a man.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, they're putting all this responsibility and obligations on you solely.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, they're supposed to be sit up in the house like a princess,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but they want to project that they're the queen. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And,
And
and
yet,
it's like it's serious manipulation. Everything women do is manipulative.
right. Well, they
You
have to.
know.
That's their key to survival. So, I mean, they can't overpower us for the most part. So, manipulation
Mhm.
has to be their go-to. That makes me think of like just a sidebar on it. But it makes me think of how when you've busted your ass to get that house, and you bring your family into that house, that you're reduced to this portion of the house that's not even
Mhm.
half of it, and you can call that your man cave. Like that's yours, your one area to use as the man
Yeah,
cave,
yeah.
and
I
she gets
mean,
the rest of the
in
house.
Western society, you bust your ass to get this house,
Yeah,
and then the man is either relegated to the basement or the garage.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
And
then
it's like
so
if he
yeah.
wants to lounge in the living room, he can't put his feet up.
No, not at all. So
You know what I
and
mean?
so and so if you go, so if you here you are, you slaving away, you doing your man thing to protect the family or whatever, and then you go buy that motorcycle you wanted, or you go buy that sports car you wanted, like you said, it's particularly for you, and then you get the negative connotation of, oh, he's going through a midlife crisis. Like what? Like
Yeah,
God, like
I
you
mean,
can't you like
if
how much
by that
sacrifice do you need to
logic,
make? You know what I'm saying? How much do you need to break your back before you can actually have something for yourself?
oh, to put the cherry on top of that,
Yeah.
if you want to go by that logic, like if you buy the motorcycle,
Mhm.
and if that's a midlife crisis, then you got to look at a woman's life, her whole life, as in a total crisis because the house on the hill with a white picket fence is
Yeah.
her dream.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Oh
it's
yeah.
like you put her in her dream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gave her that house on the hill with a white picket fence. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you gave her that family. You gave her that protection and that provision.
Yep.
So by that logic, she's a crisis that you're managing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on that note, gentlemen, you know, whenever you hear this shaming tactic, midlife going through a midlife crisis, you know what I'm saying, just go ahead and
Just
brush your
stick your
shoulders
middle
off.
finger up and keep
Right.
riding. That's all.
Right. Keep on riding. Go ahead, crank that motorcycle up and just give it a couple revs and be like, "What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you." And
Right.
just burn out nice fucking face. But anyhow, that's gonna be our show for tonight, gentlemen. Thanks for checking in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We are getting back on track. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get us going back up. We might change. We're looking into changing our cast time. So we can grow the audience even further. You know, we cast typically late. You know, being as busy as both me and Lando are, living our
Oh,
lives and
absolutely.
whatnot. You know, we got to do our thing. But you know, we try to come together and collaborate and bring the content to you guys so you can listen to it. But yeah, that's our time, guys. Until next time, this is your boy Max from Unapologetically Men, and the co-host on the other end.
Lando, I'm going to sleep, y'all.
I feel you. We out. Peace.
Later.
And